This video will help you find reliable resources. Research is just like fishing. When you don't catch anything, you must change your bait, which is your keyword, or you must change your spot, which can be a database, a book, the internet. So you never just keep trying the same thing without results. You have to change something. Why can't we just Google things? Well, the internet is a vast ocean with a lot of pollution and junk. You can search the internet for reliable information, but it will take a long time and you might never find what you're looking for. I see databases as stocked ponds because the information is chosen and selected and put there because it's generally more reliable. So some people say, well, can't I just trust everything I find in a database then? Why do I even have to search? I'll just grab the first thing I see. Well, there's a lot in there, first of all, so you have to sort through it. But just like everything else, sometimes authors and researchers have biases and have opinions, and you have to sort everything out and look for data and research. Which spot will I start with? Well, in the Gale databases, we have a lot of great science resources. So here are just a few that I would recommend, but you have to decide where to start, what bait to use, and you should never stay in one spot too long. Practicing good research skills is all a part of understanding how to talk about science in the world. This is a part of scientific literacy, and the more research you do, the more you will know. The more you know, the more you can share accurate information with others. Hello students, this is Mrs. Hendry and I'm here to show you how to access some reliable resources through the Learning Resource Center page and some of our databases. So first you want to get to this page. I think you all know how to get there. You can go through MHS intranet to click on the library links. You can access it in Canvas, and once you get to this page, you can scroll down to the database area to start searching databases. Now, I will just say that we have a lot of reliable nonfiction books in print format and ebook format, so feel free to search those. Sometimes the only negative with books, in my opinion, is that they can be outdated. Otherwise, they're very reliable. They've been through a really rigorous publishing process. But databases are updated many times a day, so they give us the most recent information, and they tend to be much more reliable than just Googling and researching on the internet. So the databases that I'll show you today are the Gale databases. I recommend trying all of these. JSTOR is wonderful. Power Library has a lot of interesting options. World Book is an encyclopedia. Hershey Archives is for local information, and e-newspapers have all access to all of these major daily newspapers. So Gale Databases has a little bit of everything, so we're going to start there. Click on the link, and you'll see that you have a lot of different options within the Gale databases that we've subscribed to. And just a reminder, databases are curated resources, okay? So the internet is the ocean of fish and resources, and there's a lot of junk out there along with good stuff. It's a lot harder to sort through. So databases are put together by librarians and educators and scholars and people that know about information. They put them together and they put them in one place with an easy way to search so that you can access more reliable resources without going through all the internet pollution and junk. So you can start with Power Search if you're just doing a quick general search, but I want you to see that today I'm going to focus on science resources. So if you're looking for science resources, you can see that there are quite a few that are related to science. Environmental studies is a great one to start with. Environmental studies and policy. There are more general science resources. So play around. Look at your different fishing spots, as I always say, and try to figure out where you want to start. Read the descriptions. You'll see that some are more like common information and popular information. Others can be more academic and they have videos and experiments. So wherever you start is fine. I'm going to start with this Gale in Context Science database. So I'm going to show you how to do a search, how to narrow your results, and how to decide what to start with. I will also show you how to highlight and take notes within the database. Okay, so things are kind of slow today, but we're going to be patient. So once you get into every Gale database, you'll see the same format, the same layout, I should say. You'll see a search box in the upper left-hand corner. Advanced search options are right below that, which I like to use sometimes. There's a place to browse topics. You can see which books are magazines, journals, and different publications are in this database as far as what you will access. You can get your search history if you need to. You can get links to the articles you're looking at, and you can view your highlights and notes by clicking here. So you can scroll down, and there will always be some highlight of the day, a topic of the day that you can explore if you're interested. Okay, so if you're just browsing, that's a fun thing to look at and whip through the different carousel options for that. This is one I want to study. There's a breakdown of topics once you get into the main page of the database like this. So if you know what you're looking for, you can jump right in and start going into a specific area. Or you can browse all 658 topics, which, whoa, it's a little overwhelming. But this can be a great place if you haven't decided on what to research yet. If you're still developing your topic, this is a great thing to do. So we are going to focus on renewable energy today. So I'm going to look just for fun while I'm in here to see if there is anything about, I know there's probably a link to energy. I just wanted to see if there was anything about renewable energy right from the get-go, and there is not. So I can just play around. This is what you do. This is the process. You want to look for something, and then when you don't find it, you regroup, okay? So maybe I've decided that instead of just searching for energy or renewable energy because I wasn't really having good success, I'm going to go right ahead and type in renewable energy. Now look what happens. The Gale database gives me suggestions, and this is really worth looking at before I click because I can sort of decide, which direction was I going to go? Oh, maybe I wanted to see some projects. Maybe I wanted to see how renewable energy developed or what's going on with the new developments in that area. Maybe I wanted to study some companies that provide renewable energy. So you can decide where to start or just go with the main broad topic. And you will see that this is becoming a little bit like a small ocean because the databases have a lot of information in them. So as of right now, we have 282 reference articles, 42 images, over 6,000 academic journals, which, by the way, those are very reliable because they're based on studies. And people have done a lot of research before their articles are published in academic journals, so they can be more reliable. But look at all these other options, okay? So I just take a moment and look at those options. Pretty cool. One thing I like to do when I get in here is, depending on what I'm looking for, I like to filter my results in the right-hand corner here. I can click on full text documents because I really want to make sure that whatever I find today is available right in front of me. I don't want to have to go searching for it or ask a librarian to help me go to another library to find it. If I click on full text, it's here for me now. And there's so much here that we shouldn't need to go outside of the database. However, if you ever find something that is not here and you give me the information, I can get it for you. It usually takes about 3 days. I reach out to all the librarians in Pennsylvania and somebody sends it to me. So we can do that, but we prefer not to. Peer-reviewed journals are the most reliable because you'll find that they are full of articles that have been looked over by many scholars and many scientists, and they're reviewed by the peers in that field. So that can be a really great way to go, but I'm not going to do that yet. I want to start with publication date, especially with renewable resources. I would like to make sure that my resources are, I'm going to go for past year. You could put a custom date in, but that's not usually necessary. So if I go with past year, I just weeded out a lot of things. Now look, news. There's news every day about renewable energy and renewable resources. So that's going to still be a big number, but we've gotten lower with our academic journals and our magazines, our websites, our audio, so we have less to look through. But you can also search within the results list. You can pick a document type. This is a good one to choose. I'm going to search within in a minute too, but you can do articles. Ooh, maybe a report would be good. I don't really want to hear a broadcast right now, although that can be helpful at times. So I'm going to go down through. I don't really want a viewpoint. I'm looking for things that are just a little bit more reliable. I'm having a little trouble with my scroll bar because I can't see it. Ooh, an essay might be interesting. There aren't too many options here, so I'm narrowing myself down quite a bit here. I might do a brief article too, just to see if there's something that would give me a definition or anything I could use for my research. So I am looking for information that is reliable and not too biased. We are always seeking resources that provide evidence of research, that data has been collected. We want to make sure there isn't too much bias, which is hard because every author has has opinions, and it's hard for them to not put those into their articles. However, with scientists, they should be able to provide you with the evidence. So it's easier to rule out the things that you really shouldn't use for research. Okay, so I've gotten myself down to a more reasonable number, and I said that I could search within, so watch this. If I search for solar energy, if I want to really narrow it down, I'm really down low in my counts here, so this makes it much more manageable. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with academic journals. Sometimes that's a hard place to start because if you don't have any background knowledge on the topic, you really should start with something a little more general. But I just want to show you what they look like. So again, academic journals are super reliable because they've been published through an institution. And I know some of our teachers who have their doctorates have articles published in academic journals, so that's pretty cool, but they had to work really hard, and they have like 50 resources and have done research for months, and their papers are huge and long and detailed, so these are articles that we can really trust. So here's an article I may try. It's the first one, so I hate to do that. I like to look down through, and you will have to read. So sometimes you have to read the blurb and the title and jump in and read a little more before you decide. And you may get lucky, or you may have to work at it for a while. It's just like fishing. It's the process that you have to follow. But just for the sake of showing you the next step, I want to, let's try this first article. And here it is. Okay, it gives you some basic information at the top. If you just look at the toolbar above, we've added a new tool, and that is Cite. Well, actually, a couple new tools. You can cite it, you can send it to someone, you can download it, you can print it. Okay, you can get the link, send the link to someone, send the link to yourself. Sometimes I do this. If I do research for you, if you ask me to assist you, and I find a great article, I will send you the link. But I also really encourage you to download it to your Google Drive. If you read some of this and decide, wow, this is good, I need this, download it to your Google Drive and it will be there for you. You can make a folder for the project you're working on and keep everything organized. But I want to show you this. As you're reading, if you would like to, before you download, which is risky, I would download first really, but some people like to see this tool. You can highlight parts of this article and change the colors of your highlights, and then you could add notes. Sometimes your teachers will ask you to annotate, which means write a few words about what was discussed in the article, summarize the article, explain more about what you've learned about this particular highlight. Whatever it is the teacher wants, you can add here. And by the way, there is a define button, so you can define words, which is great. It's like a little built-in dictionary. So now I clicked on annotation, and I just want to show you that when I go to my send to my Google Drive, click the right Google Drive, I have two, and my documents will appear shortly. So when I go to my drive, I have to make sure I'm in the right drive. This is a little bit of a pain. Probably should get that other personal Google off of this browser history. And if I go to recent, the first article that shows up is the one that I just downloaded. And I'm opening it up, and I want you to see that my highlights and my notes are in the article. Again, it's a little risky to highlight and take notes before you save, because what happens if your computer dies? That could be an issue, and I don't know if you can see mine, but I'm about to need to plug my computer in, so that is a risky thing to do. But I want to show you that if you go to the bottom of this article, There's my message telling me to plug in. If I go to the bottom of this article, I will see that there is a citation for me to use when I cite this article. Close this. Having a little issue here. Let me stop. Okay, just cut this out later. Okay, so not only can you see all the sources that the person used, but you can find the source citation. Now this is MLA format. If you want to get it in APA format, you would need to go back to the article here. Just got to find the article. Oh shoot, where is it? Really? Did I lose it? I don't think I lost it. Come on, come on. All right. Okay, so before I save this article, I should go to the citation tool and make sure I select APA edition if that is the format my teacher wants me to use. Once I've selected that, I've got a choice. I can copy and paste it into a doc, or I can just go ahead and download this article to my Google Drive, and it will be included in what's downloaded, the APA citation. Any questions? You know my email, henryj@mhs-pa.org. I love to help with research, so just let me know.